All right, appreciate you guys joining us today. We had a couple special guests today from NLG. We got Devin Martin in the house.
Good to see you, Mike.
Thanks for coming up, Devin.
Thanks for having us.
And we have the Chief Marketing Officer, Matt Frazee, with us today. How you doing, Matt?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Mike.
Awesome.
It's good
Thanks
to be
for
here.
coming up. Absolutely. We were just kind of talking before we got on about IULs in general. Like when you mentioned I was your first contact here at FFL. How long ago was that?
6 years?
6 years ago. What did we do our first year with you guys?
A whole $100,000.
Whole $100,000. So we were killing it back then. What did we do this past year?
$27 million.
$27 million. And I think we're close to about $10 million so far this year.
Yes.
So, IULs, we've made a major shift, and you're going to continue to see this with our volume. I think right now we're probably 15, 20% IUL, and our goal is to get that. Sean said this about 6 months ago in a staff meeting. He said, when in 2030, we're going to look back and be shocked that we used to sell mortgage and final expense, which you guys are probably happy to hear that.
We love that. We
So-
love that.
Absolutely. Why, though, right now with the market and everything going on, why are IULs the way to go, Matt?
So I appreciate the question, and before I answer that question, let me just play off of what you and Devin were talking about in terms of $100,000 in your first year with National Life to almost $30 million, and we're on a great run rate here in 25. It kind of mirrors the story actually of National Life as a whole. If you go back, when we started IULs and getting into that market about 25 years ago, about 25 years ago in that space, we did less than $1 million in that product.
Wow.
This last year, our total life sales were $635 million, making us a top 10 life insurance company. So, that trajectory that Family First is on with NLG, while maybe the journey started a little bit later,
Right.
I think it's quite fitting, kind of in the way we tend to partner and see that growth with the people that we work with.
Absolutely.
That being said, in this environment, when you think about the products, and not only just the products, we like to talk about the solutions that we provide, and that really that you guys are making promises to your clients in this environment. When you think about the volatility, whether it's economic, whether it's political, whether it's just all of those things, permanent life insurance as a whole, this is probably when it performs its best. Right? You have products that don't lose money. Right? They have a zero floor. The zero is your hero concept, with a lot of upside potential, while at the same time protecting both from a death benefit, the living benefits on a product. So you've kind of got that full wrapper and the stability of a 176-year-old company that's been through all of these environments before. So I think this is really the environment in which, when you think about that solution for the average American, this is when it performs best.
Yeah, absolutely. And it fits our clients perfectly because, there are investors out there that want to play the market. They got money to lose, right? Like early on when I first got into business, one of the questions we'd always ask the client when we were talking about IULs annuities was, are you an investor or a saver? And if you're an investor, you probably don't want to go down this route. You're good with losing. But if you're not, this is the perfect product for you, right? And, with the volume increasing the way it is, we're going to continue to see more of this. And it really helps put a client at ease knowing that you're going to put some money into something and there's no potential for any loss. And with our, we're big in middle America. We're not chasing down people that have millions of dollars in the bank. This is perfect for our clients. Now, we have a lot of new agents watching this. We recruit a couple hundred agents every single week. So there's some people looking at this right now have never written an IUL. They may not even know much about your company. So if you could take a few minutes and explain to these guys why your products, right? Because there's plenty of carriers we work with, Matt. Why the NLG IUL?
I think it comes down to it's the entirety of the package.
Yeah.
So I think we talk, and I talk often, right? I said this before. It's really about that kind of the solution. And so why NLG? I'd say it comes with kind of it comes with the full package that we put around it. One, I said this before, it's the stability of a mutual company that's been around for 176 years. So right at the end of the day, what we're selling is a promise. It's a life insurance product that's there to protect the family through a variety of different things that can happen. So you have the stability of the product. We're one of the longest standing issuers of this type of product. So we know the market, we know the business. And three, candidly, it's the wrapper of the service around it. So, we very much at National Life believe, as you said, you're in middle market or you're in the middle America. It's serving that client who really needs a solution to a lot of life's problems.
Right.
And so how do we put the full, you bring somebody to us, right? And we try to put a solution around it that matches the product need, the service need, and the stability that they need long-term.
Yeah.
And I think that's why when you think about National Life as a whole, it's not just the product, it's everything else that comes along with it.
Absolutely. Getting into the IULs, for us as a company, it's just another way to evolve. And because in business, if you don't evolve, you die. That being said, I know you kind of teased us before we get on. You have some new stuff to announce.
Well, I'll let Devin,
Devin
talk
take
a little
over
bit
now.
of
What do we have coming in the future, Devin? These guys should be excited about.
Yeah, I think we're a company that understands yesterday's home runs don't win today's games.
Right.
So we are looking at our IUL portfolio as a whole, and we're going to kind of come at that with two different angles and approaches. So ultimately improving what we're currently working on now, and then focusing on a different market that we haven't necessarily targeted before, and trying to be quicker with decisions and just reevaluating that portfolio. So kind of expanding on what we already have as an IUL, not only improving that, but coming up with potentially different lines of businesses to target the market that we know you guys work heavily in.
Got it. Is that a more simplified underwriting? Is that what I'm hearing?
We're evaluating the products as we speak.
It's like a game of poker with you guys. Well, why should the agent be excited?
It fits what you guys are currently working on. At the end of the day, we know that National Life Group, as Matt said, one of the oldest insurance carriers, our products really speak for themselves as well. But we appreciate the fact that there's certain lines of businesses that you guys work with and come across where sometimes you might not be able to look our way. So we're transitioning that, one, because we appreciate the family first life relationship. We've come a long way together, and we know that this will be a long-standing relationship as well. So the reason why is just to get more arrows in your quivers for your agents as well, and just target that market at the end of the day.
Right. You know what's funny is a year ago, I had agents sit in that same seat you're sitting in now and tell me that you can't sell IULs over the phone. You can't sell them virtually. You can't. And looking at how much the volume has grown, most of our agents are not going out in the homes anymore. I was told you have to meet with someone 2-3 times, Matt, before you can, in person, to sell them an IUL. I got guys selling them over the phone, never even seen the client. But it just shows you how much we have evolved with help from carriers like you guys. And you guys have been amazing partners, been sponsors. You were at the convention this past year. Cancun's coming up, Ignite. You've seen both sides. You've seen everything we do internally. You go around to the offices. So if someone's brand new watching this, from the carrier perspective, what did you guys see at these events at the convention, and why are they so important?
It's definitely the energy and the culture. We at National Life Group talk about culture all the time as a company, and you really feel it when you meet people like us, come to the home office and interact with our people. And as Matt was saying, service, but it's also the agents at Family First Life. I personally have not seen anything like you guys, from the energy to the growth to the recruiting, and I believe that a lot of your producers do a good job of not only continuing their personal production, but duplicating themselves, recruiting other people, and helping them build a business as well. So truly, I've not seen another agency like you guys in my experience.
Yeah, what I'll add to that is I think in order to succeed in this business, and when you think about it, you got to believe in two things primarily. One is that you're doing it for the right reasons, right?
Right.
And I think that that's something that you guys talk about often, right? It's you got to protect middle America, right? That's first and foremost. So you have to believe that why you're doing what you're doing is incredibly important to this society. And it is. And we believe that, and we're passionate about it. I think the second thing is you have to believe in it enough that not only are you protecting people, but you're bringing other people in and offering that opportunity to make a living in this business. So I think, when you ask kind of what do we see at your conventions, what do we see from an energy perspective, it's truly a belief. I think you have to be passionate about the business, be passionate about why you do it, and not only share it with the people that you're looking to sell to, but you're passionate about sharing it with the people you know and giving them an opportunity to do what you do. And I think that you guys embody that, and I think that's what drives success.
Absolutely. And it's funny, thinking about the IUL, it's such a benefit to the client. Not that term life insurance or final expense is not, but there's a reason why the persistency across the board on IULs is probably 15, maybe even 20 points higher than it is for final expense or term. There's so much more to it. Like you talked about living benefits and these things, but I think the same thing goes there. The agent needs to believe that as well.
100%.
I don't think I've met an agent that sells IULs that doesn't have one on themselves, because you got to believe in it, right? And if it's a benefit for you and you believe in it that much, then it's a lot easier to share that with your clients. And it makes you feel good. Like,
absolutely.
One of the best things, I haven't sold in years, but one of the best things about it was knowing that I come out to your house, Matt, sit down with you, and when I left, you're in a better position than you were in before I got there. And I think the IUL does that perfectly.
Yeah, and I think if you kind of look at it just from like an IUL or just permanent products in general, we like to say a couple things, right? Is one, you're probably never healthier than you are today.
Correct.
Right? Lock in your insurability. It's permanent.
Yeah.
Right? Once you're in, you're in. But I think one of the things you mentioned, persistency. I think one of the most disappointing or saddest things I think that can happen in the industry is when somebody bought into a product, they bought why they needed it, and then an event happens, and if they haven't continued their policy, the very thing that they bought, that promise, if they're not sticking around in it, they didn't get to experience the actual benefit of the product. Right. And so, keeping those things in for, like we talk about that often. It's not just at the beginning. It's constantly reminding people why what this is such an important part of their entire life cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the day, like when we first worked with you guys, 100K first year, one of the reasons why we only did 100K, Devin, is this idea, this misnomer out there that IULs are complicated. You can't start a new agent selling IULs. You got to teach them mortgage and final expense first, right? What would either one of you say to someone who's brand new watching this and just thinking, that NLG product seems awesome, but it's way above my, I can't figure that out now?
I would say learn the system. Family First Life has one of the best systems in the industry, but it's knowing how to operate the illustration software, knowing how to structure them, because structuring the policies is really as important as picking the carrier as well.
Yeah.
So learning the illustration system and just understanding that you don't have to be an expert at the end of the day. I mean, some of the best salespeople probably don't know squat about products,
Correct.
right? So learning the system, going to your uplines. The great thing about FFL is everyone's approachable. And even at Nash Life Group, we have a ton of training and support and resources. So don't be intimidated and just start. Obviously, you want to know enough to be dangerous and know how to answer questions and not put clients in positions that are advantageous for them.
Right.
But again, goes back to learning the system and just helping as many people as you can. And then the knowledge comes from there. No one's going to be an expert day one. And the more people you help, the more you're going to learn, because different clients are going to ask different questions as well.
Absolutely. And you guys offer plenty of support. That's one thing too. If I hear, I just don't know how to figure this, call the carrier. Do you guys not have some type of sales desk, help desk for the agent?
We have a sales desk, and they even offer daily live trainings, even in different languages as well, Spanish, everything. But most people would know how to contact me, and if you don't get with your upline, I can even coordinate, because I know FFL has their goals, but all independent producers are their own business. Yeah. So I know that you all as agents have your own individual goals as well. Right. We can carve out trainings for you anytime. We're on the road quite often, but there's not a lack of support in order for you guys to be successful as far as Nash Life Group goes.
When should they reach out to you, Devin? Because I know doing 100,000 versus 20-something million, you're a lot busier these days, but what would they go to you for?
My commitment to you has not changed.
Okay.
If every single person called me about every application they submitted, that wouldn't be sustainable, but I'm approachable anytime. I'll get back to you when I can. And fortunately, we know the growth that we want to achieve as a company, and we appreciate the growth that's happening with Family First Life. So we now have more support people, even on the Spanish side as well. Yep. So really anytime, Mike, my support and commitment to you has not changed.
Love it. Well, our goal is to get you so busy that Matt has to hire you some help.
Well, it's a good point.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing this with Devin and I today. there's an entire army behind us.
Right.
You know, we've got you mentioned before, we've got a full sales desk, an internal wholesaling team. Devin's got teammates that kind of surround him. There's plenty of support, and that doesn't even count our service operations, our customer call centers, our agent call centers that are even after issue support. So, you know, this is two of us here that represent a whole army of people ready to help you guys get your business through.
Right. Love it. Where can these guys see you next?
I'm on the road quite often, but I will be at Ignite in Phoenix as well, and Cancun. Cancun's after Ignite, I believe. But I'll be at both of those events.
Nice. So you'll be at Cancun, Ignite, and then we have another Ignite in the fall. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Once I know the dates, I'm pretty sure I can make that happen.
And then obviously at the annual convention.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Right. Well, you guys have been phenomenal partners, and we're going to continue to grow. This, like I said, Sean wants us to be predominantly IUL in a few years, and I believe we'll get there. You know, it's like one thing about Sean, FFL, you speak things into existence, they tend to happen. I remember sitting in a room 10 years ago, and Sean said, we'll be $1 billion company. And we were probably doing about $100,000 a week at that point, Devin. We're like, are we getting paid next week? You know? And this year, if everything goes according to plan, we'll hit $1 billion in sales for the first time in a 12-month period. So, and we're just, plan is to get bigger and bigger, and we need partners like you guys in order to achieve that. So appreciate everything you guys do. Guys, thanks for checking us out. You know how to reach out to Devin, NLG, if you need any assistance. And get registered for Ignite at igniteevents.com. Go to fflconvention.com, get your ticket for the next event, and we'll see you soon.